Hello everyone and welcome to my presentation of this week focused on advanced features and automation within Adobe InDesign. On a personal level, I have to admit that last week I failed to a certain degree in providing accurate representation of my progress within the software, so additionally, this time around I have allowed myself to have a bit more breathing room by being able to focus on a particular feature within a sector of InDesign, which is automation, rather than covering the software as a whole. Moreover, this week was somewhat unique because I was contacted by Rochi del Castillo, an organizer of a yearly art exhibition here in Lima, Peru, someone who I have worked with before in several occasions. It was a freelance opportunity to help by creating business cards and other social media graphics. But as I know also of their production needs, I already knew that an art book was mostly going to be produced, something which is normally given to someone else more expert at that. But this year I asked if I could produce it and they accepted. I thought that perhaps combining the skills that I've been producing for my grad project alongside the new skills I could learn this week could serve me very well in completing this task at hand. Therefore, in terms of aims that I have set myself with this week, I tried to sort of enhance my efficiency by reducing my workload by looking at 3 different topics. Actually 4. Data merge, color replacement, masters, and styles. As what sources are concerned, I continued with Adobe Max seminars. This week I incorporated a new name though to the already list of professionals that I had followed so far under the pseudonym of Clady Print My Soul. She has been my good teacher you may see in this presentation because she gives you insight of recommendations that perhaps you would miss otherwise. Starting off with data merge, this is a technique which on paper is very simple but requires of multiple external files to work. Data merge basically takes the information from one text file and automatically fills in the voids or the blanks per se of a preset text box. In my particular case, I wanted to speed up the process of changing the names, the email addresses, the phone numbers of various persons within the business cards that I have created. I had a significant problem though trying to get this function to read the following set of data that I had copied from an email information that I received because I couldn't understand why InDesign did not manage to differentiate one value from the other. The problem after minutes of testing was that the text wasn't filled within the correct syntax. Between each new value, a capital letter must go, which sounds kind of ordinary, but since I kind of came from a background of looking at it as coding, normally you would see a tendency there of using camel casing, which is you have the small letter first and then the capital. But soon enough, I realized that was the exact mistake, that I was looking at this like it was coding, when rather it was just a simple version of another input. Anyhow, the problem was solved, but now I actually found a new issue when it came to exporting these files. My work instructions was to create a template which they could print back in Peru and cut themselves, meaning that for the normal export settings that you would find within the feature of data merge, they were simply of no use. I had to create therefore a kind of set of margins and bleeding so that the printer could then process that extra space, giving the breathing room, you would say, for the cutter to return uniform results. To solve this, I looked then into masters and style. For the sake of explanations, I started the foundation of the art book early on, in which I used industry recommendations to create bleeding and margins when wanting to leave extras. Clady, my source, recommended 3 mm of bleeding and 20 mm of margin inside. The reason for the bleeding was so that the cutter could be precise, and the margins inside so that when you bend the book, the text was still visible in the inside. Master settings I found were extremely useful because now I could save these settings and apply it to other files whenever I need them to be. In terms of style, these are basically the same thing as masters, but rather instead of focusing on pre-establishments of the page, they look at text. There are 2 types of that, in fact, paragraphs and characters, with paragraphs styles encompassing the technical properties while characters take a look at the visuals. The last feature that I looked at precisely evolved on this. Color replacement is a process of substituting universally all the colors in a file for another, and to do this within the use of character styles, one must replace the existing color and create a new swatch. A swatch is the derivative of the CC libraries which I commented on last week. To To summarize my development within InDesign, I have to admit that I have made some significant progress. Not only have I been able to improve within my skills, but also put them in the test in a real life scenario. With that being said, there's still a lot more to improve. When my copywriting is concerned, I think I am still a way behind. So far, I haven't been able to produce a file that is kind of rich in text. So therefore, I can really measure myself there. But on the other hand, in terms of graphic design, I'm feeling more comfortable. And as time goes on with the software, I'm going to be learning new things in terms of what I need. These are my references, and thank you for listening.